Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to today's BK Chit Chat. Thank you to those of you who have been able to join us live. We always enjoy meeting you. And greetings to those of you joining later on through the video and the audio. So we're in the month of January currently, and everyone's thoughts, I think, are going towards 18th January. We've got a playlist that we're going to be putting up in the next few days on the Bhog messages, the trance messages after Brahmababa became an angel in 1969. There are 16 messages that Devi Gulzar brought in those first few days. And so Ranjan Ben has recorded them, and we're going to put that playlist up. So we've been in that sort of mindset because we've been repeating those messages, thinking about those times. No doubt you will hear many different experiences from brothers and sisters around that time. We've also got another playlist that we're going to put up soon, which is the Oral Histories playlist. And that's going to be with some English interpretation of some of the Devi's experiences in the Yajna. So again, I hope that those things will give you a feel and a flavor of corporeal Brahmababa. There's also a playlist for the Murlis we hear every day, the audio of that. So you can hear the direct Hindi, and then there's some English interpretation. So hopefully all of those things will give you a greater feel for Brahmababa, a feel for Bapdada at that time and the atmosphere of that time. It was a surprise for brothers and sisters at that time because Mama had become Karmatit in 1965, but she had been unwell for some time. And in the last 2 months, everyone knew that she was going to leave the body. So there was a period of time where brothers and sisters could go and meet her and at least have those final days and final moments. But Brahmababa leaving was sudden. I mean, he was old in body as well, about 92 years old. And he did have different ailments, but still it didn't enter anyone's mind that Brahmababa wouldn't be with everyone until the end. And there was that big surprise to the family. So Baba left around about 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. on the 18th of January. And then the funeral was held on the 21st of January. And we are thinking of reading you that Murli next week. Baba, you'll hear in the Bhog messages that Devi Gulzar was bringing messages in between, and Bapdada did come and meet everyone in between as well, between 18th and 21st January a couple of times. But after the funeral, then it's like an official Bhog, and Shiv Baba comes to speak that first Murli on his own and sets sort of some rules and things really for going forward. And then a couple of days later, Brahmababa comes, and that's the Murli we're going to hear today. And one of the questions that the Dadis and Dadas were thinking about at that time after the funeral was, what should we do with the ashes? Should we have some sort of memorial for Brahmababa? I think, as you all know, that Brahmababa was very much against any pictures of himself. You'll hear the narrative in the Murli that we're moving away from Bhakti. And so as we move away from Bhakti, we want to be moving away from this dependency on idols and pictures. So Baba had a lot of disinterest from that. The pictures that he had created are more diagrams. If you look at the older pictures of the cycle and the Trimurti and the staircase, etc., they're actually full of writing. So they're really more for explanation purposes rather than Baba was concerned that if you just make a picture of these Hindu gods, people will just go and worship it. It's just a sanskar. And so Baba tended not to do that. Even with the light box he had made for the picture of Lakshmi and Narayan, that's got writing on it as well. So that's a diagram, and there's Shiv Baba at the top of that. So in this way, Baba was moving us away from pictures generally. And definitely, Baba would not have had a picture of himself. So I don't know if there were even that many pictures of Shiv Baba. The only ones were the ones where you've got the praises of Shiv Baba and all the rays. So again, they're diagrams of Shiv Baba really, more than just a picture. So at that time, even to have a picture of Brahma Baba was controversial. And so what they decided to do, again, there was Baba's room. What should we do with Baba's room? So there was all of these discussions going on. And they would have maybe sent Devi Gulzar with some ideas up to Baba and asked her to ask Baba for his input. So that's when these things began to be decided, that Baba's actual room should be turned into a meditation room. This is why we call meditation rooms Baba's rooms, because actually the first meditation room was Baba's actual room. And it was extended to the size it is now. That part of the extension of Baba's room, it was actually the cowshed. So Baba's room was only 1/3 of the current size of Baba's room. It was maybe the size of this current Baba's room we're in at the moment. And then the extension was the cowshed. So they built that in. And then the first light box of Brahma Baba, for a while it was the only one, was there, of Brahma Baba. And then they decided as a memorial, they would create the Tower of Peace. Because some people were saying we should have a statue of Brahma Baba, but you can imagine Brahma Baba's reaction to having a statue of himself. So we don't have statues of people in the Brahmin culture. Nowadays, there seems to be lots of pictures around, but in those days, that was just not acceptable. So if you look, they did a really clever design of the Tower of Peace. They've depicted the white of Brahma Baba and the red of Shiv Baba, because of course Shiv Baba was sitting in the forehead of Brahma. So it's really cleverly done. And even that's a diagram because it's covered in Murli points and praises of Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba's stage, that he was a real tower of peace, tower of purity, tower of love, tower of power. What a great design that is. So that's what all the discussions that were occurring. So the Murli that you're about to hear is in the midst of that. So then the question arises, what do you do with Brahma Baba's ashes? Now, in traditional Hinduism, you would put them in a river, but the dadis and dadas felt that that body of Brahma, the chariot, the lucky chariot, the fortunate chariot, it was through that body that all the Brahmins took birth, that they met Shiv Baba. Shiv Baba's Murli was spoken through that body. Do you just throw those ashes into a dirty river? Do you throw them into a dirty ocean? They felt that it just wasn't appropriate. So Peggy Jenke shared this with us in the London class, and I'm not sure if it's generally shared with people, but she said on 18th January, she wanted to share it with us. And so what they decided to do, half the ashes are buried underneath the translite of inside of Baba's room and Mother Baba, and half the ashes are underneath the Tower of Peace. So that's how they decided to split. So some had said that we should put it in Baba's room, some had said we should put it under the Tower of Peace. And that location of the Tower of Peace, that was the sports yard. So that's where Baba used to play cricket and badminton, volleyball, etc. So they repurposed that to the Tower of Peace. And so that's what's happened. That they also took special permission from the local council there to have Brahma Baba's funeral in that place where the Tower of Peace is, in the sports yard. Of course, usually you're not allowed to have a cremation in your own home. You have to go to the cremation ground. And for Mama's funeral, it was in the cremation ground. And for all most of the daddy's funerals and things, it's all been in the cremation ground. But for Brahma Baba's funeral, they asked for special permission, which was granted. And so Brahma Baba's funeral all took place where the Tower of Peace is. And then half the ashes are also underneath the Tower of Peace, and half the ashes are underneath Baba's translight in Baba's room. So not only is there the vibration from the mind of Brahma and from the presence of Bap-Dada speaking the Murli in that place, but also that body that was Shiv Baba's lucky chariot, the ashes, the vibrations of the ashes are also in that place. So it's that context behind today's Murli that you're going to hear. So I'll hand over to Ranjan Ben now.
Om Shanti. Good morning to all. This is Avyakt Bap-Dada, 23rd January 1969, 23/01/1969. The ashes are to remind you of the stage. Today I have come in the Avyakt form to meet all of you children.
So sorry to interrupt. So I did mention this, but let me just reiterate it, that in the 21st January Murli, only Shiv Baba came. And Shiv Baba makes the comment that people were still very emotional. So he felt he should just come on his own. And you're hearing in this first person, in that first line, that's Brahma Baba coming on his own in the Avyakt form and meeting the children through the body of Lady Gulzar. This was very unusual for everyone. So they had to get used to the fact that Baba's not gone. Baba's still here. So we have to capture the atmosphere in order to really understand the context behind what Baba is saying. So sorry to interrupt.
So this is Brahma Baba talking to us. Today I have come, that is Brahma Baba in the Avyakt form, to meet all of you children. Only my children who are stable in the Avyakt stage will understand this. Whilst all of you children are stable in the Avyakt stage, whom are you seeing? Are you seeing him, Brahma Baba, in the Vyakt, which is a corporeal form, or the Avyakt? Avyakt means subtle form. Are you in the corporeal or the subtle stage? If you look whilst in the Vyakt, that is corporeal stage, you will not be able to see the Father. Today, I have come from the subtle region to meet you. There is no sound in the subtle region, but I have come here into sound. What thought is inside all of you? This is now the Avyakt meeting. It is as though the heart-to-heart conversation with the children continues like a kalpa ago. Sweet Baba has sent me, that is Shiv Baba has sent Avyakt Baba to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you children and to meet all of you. The one who was here is still here. 2 or 3 days ago, there was a heart-to-heart conversation with sweet Baba. What was the heart-to-heart conversation? Do you know that? Baba asked, are you ready to experience the subtle region? What would I have replied? I simply replied, whatever is Baba's directions, as you make me move, wherever you make me sit, in whatever form you make me sit, I am ready. There must be the thought within the children. Why did Bab Dada not take leave? This was also said to Baba. Baba replied, if I had set all the children down and asked them to let you take leave, would they have given it? Seeing the children in the service, you would have been affected by that love. And so, whatever Baba made me do is said to be the destiny of the drama. If not in a corporeal form, you are still meeting in the avyakt form. The expansion of service is the same. The remembrance of the children is the same, but the difference is that whereas that one was avyakt whilst in the corporeal form, this one is only subtle. Those who know about the meeting with the eyes will take the directions and the teachings for themselves through their eyes in this short meeting. All of you have to come to the subtle region anyway. Baba is always ready at all times to have a meeting with the children. Now the children will be able to have the experience of an avyakt meeting to the extent that their intellects are clear. Are you stable in your form of power? To Didi, that is Didi Manmohini, Baba is still with you just as he was, not separated. Now you have to show the part of being the embodiment of power in a visible way. The teachings you have received from the Father have to be shown in a practical form. There is a large army of Shaktis, but now you have to become the complete embodiment of power. Up to now, you have been progressing through the love of the child and father. Now you have to make others powerful through the powers that you yourself have received from the Father. Only such loving children will remain with the Father till the end. Sweet, sweet Baba was showing a scene of you children just now where you were carrying the ashes. Do not just see the ashes, see the stage. The ashes themselves remind you of his stage. There was a powerful stage in every vein. So although externally you kept the ashes, you must not take the meaning of that to be the same as on the path of bhakti. Always see the stage with which the ashes were filled. Ordinary people will not be able to understand these things so clearly. Children have love, and it will constantly remain for 21 births. Will all of you not come into the golden age world with me? Will we not claim the kingdom together? We are together now, and we will remain together for many births. Now also, Do not think that Baba is here and Dada is not, or that Dada is here and Baba is not. Both of us are one. We cannot be separated from one another. In the same way, consider yourself to be the Trimurti. Trinity, Trimurti. This is why Baba says, always keep the badge of the Trimurti with you. When you see the three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar, you are reminded of your Trimurti stage. That is, you are reminded of your form and the remembrance of Bap Dada. This stage of the Trimurti is very well known. There is benefit for all of you children in this. Whatever the Father, the benefactor says and inspires you to do, there is benefit in that. In each supreme version and in each drishti, there is a lot of benefit. But there are very few special Maharati children who now recognize the physical part. Now you must also make fast efforts to stabilize yourself in the karmatit stage. Just as you used to spend all your time with Bap Dada, in the same way, keep him with you in every action, at every moment. Children, remember these teachings. Do not ever forget them. Continue to have success in your relationships, in being loving, in being the embodiment of remembrance, and in having an easy nature by surrendering and being cooperative. Success is shining in the center of the forehead of all you children. Now it has been too long. Is there anything else that you want to say? Means Avyakt Baba felt as if he had stayed too long in this, in this world, in a corporeal world. So Baba is asking Dadis, now it has been too long. Is there anything else that you want to say? Whilst sitting in the subtle region, each child's daily timetable and chart are always in front of me. That is, in front of Bap Dada. They are even more clearly visible now than in the corporeal form. And so Baba continues to see each one's results. The more you are stable in the Avyakt form, the more the actions performed by the senses will be according to the advice given by Srimad. Children will have this experience now on the basis of your Avyakt stage. Perform actions as you have been doing according to Srimad. To have the same love for the things that Baba has love for means to make yourself 100-fold fortunate. In his every vein, what did Baba have love for? Not the 5 elements. Love is always for the virtues. It isn't that he had love, but that he still has love until the future new world is created. This love will remain unbroken. Love is for the souls and the task Would this body have been your companion till the end? This is why have such love and become loving. No matter what kind of Maya confronts you, you must become the conqueror of Maya. Just as you put on a badge, now put the badge of victory on your forehead. The map of Madhuban should be in front of the whole world like a museum. It is the imperishable treasure store. It has to be revealed even more. Continue to write letters here as all of you have been doing. Take directions in the same way as you used to. The question of the body is something else, but the service is the same. And so, whatever it is, write to Madhuban about it. Maintain a constant connection. Give others the evidence of your stage. Seeing you, others will do the same. At the time of taking leave, Baba said, you children know that whatever is the role in the drama, there is an incognito significance in that. Whatever further significance there is will be told to you according to the time. Now the memorial of you is in the sky. People of the world will see with their eyes whose Srimad these stars of the earth are following. Baba has said, do not sit there for too long. Acha, Om Shanti.
Do you have something?
Yes, I would say it was Sister Judy who just now, took, and you haven't received the messages, but all the messages are beautiful, of course, but message number 15 and 16 has your answer in it, because Baba said, keep your intellect with Baba connected, because connection is the thread. And so read that Murli, and Baba gave us a gift of 2 words, unshakable and constant. And also this every morning Baba says, Yad, Pyar or Namaste, remembrances and Namaste. So it is because of our connection with the Father, and that is the thread. So keep that. And also Baba has at some point we try and because like you say, the internet and these are here just to help us, but they are not. But Baba had all this, we think all this technology is new, but it's not. Baba was watching us. Baba has all this TV, and Baba says in a lot of Murlis that I've been watching you. I already had a TV and ultrasound and all these equipments. And that is for us to have this clear intellect, and so we can have this connection with Baba, and we can catch Baba, what Baba says accurately. But our intellect, mind, everything should be so clean and clear and pure. So these messages will also help, but we'll read the Murli at some point, because we need to have a ruling and controlling power, catching power. So there are Murlis like that. We will read at some point, and that will help. But these messages will help also. Baba has given lots of instructions and guidance, because a lot of children who had made that effort, and it was a shock when Baba went, and then they were complaining, like Baba says, a lot of children have complained, and so Baba has given the response complaining that children, you didn't pay attention to what I said. And so Baba was complaining, that's why your stage and your efforts are no good, and now you're feeling this way, but you still have a chance. Make your, like Baba said, make your stage obvious, go beyond, because you can come to object. Subtle region is for just this confluence age, and so we have this chance. And Baba said about this, that this COVID is just an excuse, but it is for us to have such tapasya. It's for us children, and from time to time, Baba has shared in a book messages that our result is not that good. Some children are not making as much effort as they should, and tapasya. So this is at this time, this is in the drama. So do listen to those messages, especially message 5. Sister, your answer is in message number 15 and 16. So Baba has given us gift of these two words, unshakable and constant, because Baba showed that the Gulzar scene of ocean, very turbulent ocean and waves. And Baba asked Daddy to put her feet in it and go in the middle to swim. And Daddy was afraid, and Daddy said, didn't say to Baba, because she just said to herself, how am I going to go in the middle? And but she said, no, Baba has said, so I need to obey and I need to go. So she put in her feet and went. And as she put her feet, the turbulence became calmer and she went in the middle. And then Baba had showed her that some boats, you know how we make little boats of, as a children, of the paper boats, like, and then we put it in the water. But so Baba said, this is a game. And Baba showed some boats sank, some boats were rocking, and some boats stayed unshakable, immovable. And so Baba was showing that if you have connection with Baba, then your boat, even if your boat rocks, it won't sink. But to have such a connection with Baba, that you remain stable. And so Baba gave the gift of these two words, unshakable and constant. And also keep remembrance and namaste in front of you, because that's the thread to connect you with Baba. And if you are with Baba, holding your hand, nothing will happen to you. So, but we'll read and we go more into it. But as we read this 1969 Murli's, they have a lot of guidance, and Baba is showing us how to become like angel like Baba, how to make our stage object to go beyond. And so when the destruction, when anything happens, if there's upheaval, or we won't be afraid, and we'll remain with Baba unshakable, in fact helping Baba, the world, and helping the souls. So thank you. Om Shanti.
Would anyone who's here with us live like to come in?
Shanti. One of the key things that the whole Murli is so really deep and profound is that Baba says in each things that happen, yes, suddenly is we have to know things can happen suddenly, but is to understand the significance. Everything that happens, it is significant, and just to be able to go into the depth of what is happening and the drama again, put in the drama and put in full stop, and really this level of, follow the Father. It is so important. Brahma Baba was saying, where we lack is really our deep, deep connection with Shiv Baba. That is where it lies. And I think that's the only way we're really able to face what is to come, whatever turbulence is there. And as she was saying, that how important it is to be constant, remain unshakable, but to be unshakable means we need that power. And that's what he was saying again, is that we lack that power. And that's why we will ask the question, why and what and when. But it's to accept what is happening, understand the depth of it with respect to the significance of it. And each step should be able to take us forward.
Yes. I think you've frozen there, sister. Yeah. So I think those are great points. And there's two words that come out of the bold messages that you'll hear again and again. And Baba says that just think of Baba and benefit. And so this is in essence what Baba is training us for, that we've got to just be in that stage of retirement, I suppose, where nothing surprises you anymore. And you just are aware that anything can change at any moment. But because your internal state was not based on that thing, then you're going to be able to stay consistent. Of course, people didn't expect that Brahma Baba wouldn't be there, and it was a very real relationship. So that was a very big test. But in that Murli before this one, on the 21st of January, Shiv Baba says, well, who was your commitment to me or to Brahma? And this is, I think, the essence of it, that we've got to strip away. And this is what Confluence Age is about, stripping away all supports. And wherever we want to hang on to something, because all supports are always temporary by nature, apart from Shiv Baba, those supports will go. And as they go, can I remain powerful and happy? That's going to be the proof of the knowledge and yoga that I've absorbed. Would anyone else like to come in? Okay.
Shanti, everyone. Can you hear me?
Can hear you well.
Okay. Greetings. I came in late. I'm sorry. Had a kind of crisis back in Barbados with my relative there. So,
No problem.
but what I did hear from Mataji in about being constant, and what I pick up is like you have to have your intellect so clear. The same thing that happened in Barbados with my relative, I had the thought came just like yesterday, very strongly. She came into my thoughts, and I felt a kind of pain in my foot. And the thought, she just came right away. And then I heard this morning that I had to hospitalize her because of a blood clot in the leg and the palpitations in the heart. So it's like when because for me, this whole week I've been focusing on soul consciousness and remembering Baba a lot. So it's like when the intellect is clear, you're able to pick up things before they actually happen, because I was sending her some very good positive thoughts and good wishes even before I heard the news, So yeah, keeping focus on Baba and the drama is key. Om Shanti.
So for sharing that example. And I also think that the test papers, they'll come sometimes when we are also in a vulnerable state sometimes. So we could be emotional, we could be feeling low in one way or another. And at that point, test papers can also come. So it's really when times are good that we've got to practice our yoga more. We've got to develop our connection, because when we're going through things ourselves and then we have to deal with other people's things sometimes, external circumstances, that's when we can really shake and we can be all over the place in our decision making. But Baba is saying to us that you're going to have to just practice day by day, seeing Baba, benefit, developing your connection. And you might want to just revisit this video when we put it up again, because it's a nice Murli that we read on the 23rd of January 1969. It's part of the preparation for Baba's Day. But thanks for joining anyway.
Sure, thank you.
Would anyone else like to come in? Okay, so thank you once again for joining us. And I think it's a nice Murli to just set the atmosphere again for us for this month. That this is that month where Brahma Baba was emphasizing in this Murli that for him, he didn't go anywhere. And he was in the corporeal body practicing being an angel. And now he's just an angel. So as far as he is concerned, his reality of being the angel was there anyway. He was practicing it for many years. And so why would you feel that he's gone anywhere? And so Baba's instructions to us was just perform every action with Baba. Remember that you're combined. You're not on your own. And Complement Sage is about utilizing that relationship with Baba. And so Baba's company is there, and that the more that we implement Srimad, it's like we're holding Baba's hand even closer. We're moving closer to Baba. So Baba's hand is Srimad, and then Baba's company is Baba's remembrance. And so those two things are really the things that we experience this month more so. And Thursday's bold message as well, Baba said that he's remembering the children, especially this month. So we've got an opportunity for developing our angelic experience and our experience of meeting Baba even more this month. So let's make the most of it. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, all the best for the new year, Babaji.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thanks for everyone for joining. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Bye.
Bye-bye.